$11.5 million for one World Cup ticket, not a luxury box, not 4 tickets, one upper deck seat in FIFA's own official resale marketplace. Cameras kept catching something FIFA did not want becoming part of the story. Blocks of empty seats. Then FIFA's last-minute site, which had sometimes showed the final as sold out, suddenly had nearly 1,200 more seats available at $7,380 apiece. So were these tickets really scarce? Or were fans frightened into panic buying? Because music concert goers already know the feeling. It looks like Ticketmaster coaching FIFA how to price gouge the fans. Let's follow the cash. A few weeks ago, in my Ticketmaster video report, I showed you how the live music business learned to turn one emotion into a revenue stream. The fear that you might miss the moment. FIFA did not invent the pressure system. It wrapped that system around the biggest sporting event on earth. The public heard that World Cup tickets would start at $60. Some did. But European fan and consumer groups later complained that those seats were so scarce that most were gone before the general public could reach them. They called it bait advertising. Most fans shopping the open market met a different reality. And analysts found that FIFA raised prices across more than 90 of the tournament's 104 matches between October and April by about 34% on average. And the official resale marketplace stretched from about $7,400 to $11.5 million. Now, that does not mean anyone paid $11.5 million, but FIFA allowed that listing to sit inside a marketplace carrying FIFA's name. And every outrageous number moves the psychological goalpost, shows somebody an $11 million ticket, then in comparison, a $7,000 ticket suddenly begins to look almost reasonable. That is called anchoring. The seat did not become better, the number beside it simply became less insane than the number above it. Then the cameras complicated FIFA's demand story. Before the tournament, FIFA president Gianni Infantino said every match was sold out. But on opening week in Guadalajara, South Korea played Czechia in a stadium that holds 45,664 people. That's more than 98% full. However, pictures show visible gaps, including large empty patches in the middle sections. FIFA's explanation was that official attendance counts scanned tickets and spectators anywhere inside the stadium footprint, and that some fans was watching from the concourses. That explanation matters. The footage alone does not prove FIFA invented the attendance number, but it does expose a serious contradiction. Fans were being shown sky-high prices, disappearing inventory, while their own eyes could see empty chairs. In fact, when the tournament began, only 29 of the 104 matches had actually sold out. Empty seats are not automatic proof of fake scarcity. They are evidence that the pricing system, dynamic pricing, failed the first job of ticketing, put passionate people in the building. Then the market itself gave us the clearest evidence. After the United States and Mexico was eliminated, quarterfinal resale prices collapsed.
All host countries are out of the tournament, and that's dropping prices for some games.
Spain against Belgium fell from more than $3,200 to about $1,381. England versus Norway fell from $3,800 to about $2,000. Argentina against Switzerland fell from $2,300 to about $1,100. Roughly half the price in days. The view did not change. What changed was the buyer's fear of missing out. The system had methods, tools, and tricks up its sleeves to build desperation so it can fully implement its dynamic pricing system. But when that desperation disappears, so does the price. Dynamic pricing is only half the machine. The resale system is where the Ticketmaster resembles become impossible to ignore. FIFA gets paid when it first sells the ticket. Then when that same ticket is resold on FIFA's official marketplace, FIFA charges 15% to the seller and another 15% to the buyer. That's 30% from both sides of a ticket it already sold and made a profit from. And if the ticket changes hands again, they take their percentage once again from both sides. Therefore, a ticket stops behaving like simple admission. It becomes a financial instrument that generates fees every time it moves, every time it's resold. The CEO Infantino was asked about final tickets listed around $2 million.
Actually, if somebody buys a ticket for the final $2 million, I will personally bring him a hot dog and a Coke.
Yeah.
To make sure that he has a great experience.
He would personally bring that fan a hot dog and a Coke. Maybe not so funny when you look at the numbers. Here's the math. 15% on each side could represent roughly $690,000 in combined fees. And back to that $11.5 million listing, $3.5 million in fees to go into FIFA's pockets from one resale of one seat. That is the scale of the machine when one organization earns money from both sides of the same resale. FIFA did not create a second match. It did not build a second stadium. it positioned itself between two people passing one ticket across the table. Now the attorney generals are following the money. New Jersey's attorney general called the experience, her words, a gauntlet of confusion, fake scarcity, and impossibly high prices. California's Attorney General demanded answers about potentially misleading practices, including reports that seating category maps changed before fans received their exact locations. And on July 14th, the Washington, D.C. Council approved a bill that would cap most live event resales at 10% above face value, ban speculative tickets, require upfront pricing, and crack down on surveillance pricing.
D.C. Council just approved a bill to set a 10% cap on the resale of tickets. Under this new bill, a secondary seller can only charge 10% more than what they paid for the original ticket.
It still awaits the mayor's signature. That DC law is not only about soccer or football. It is built for concert fans, theaters, artists, and venues. The World Cup did not create America's ticket problem. It made the existing problem impossible to ignore. Canada gave us the cleanest real-world experience. Makes it illegal to resell a ticket above face value. When FIFA's Toronto listing collided with that rule, FIFA removed the resale inventory and brought it back at face value. Not because the software failed, not because the man disappeared, because the law removed the extra profit. For me, it's so disappointing to see how slow or non-existent at all America compared to other countries in protecting its own citizens from price gouging like this. For it's the same tournament, same FIFA, same technology, different laws, different behaviors depending on what country or town you're in. This is the part the ticket industry never wants fans to understand. The machine only runs where the rules allow it. Which brings us back to the company that built the blueprint and to the word European fan groups use in their complaint, monopoly. TicketMaster and Live Nation did not become powerful only by selling tickets. They controlled the promotions, the venues, the primary sale, the fees, and the resale. On April 15, a federal jury found that Live Nation and Ticketmaster illegally monopolized live music. The states won on every count, and the jury found consumers were overcharged by $1.72 per ticket in the markets it calculated. That comes out to billions and billions of dollars. Those are real changes if the court approves them, but they stop short of separating Ticketmaster from Live Nation. Meanwhile, Live Nation has asked the judge to ease the state's jury verdict or grant a new trial, arguing the case was driven by emotion. That is a remarkable defense from a company whose own internal language include the phrase robbing them blind, baby. So the Ticketmaster fight is not over. Expensive tickets do not only hurt the person trying to buy the seat, they change the room. When the most loyal fans are priced out, artists perform from a crowd selected by income instead of passion. The person who knows every lyric are home on the couch. The seats go to corporations, hospitality clients, brokers, or nobody at all. Then artist gets blamed for the price. The fan arrives angry before the first note. There is less money left for merchandise, and the energy in the room changes. Walking on stage in front of a loyal fan base, that energy is incredible. That love, that anticipation, it is special and a wonderful thing. No matter how tired you are as an artist, touring from town to town, doing a lot of travel, you walk on that stage in front of that loyal crowd, they give you so much energy. So here's the final truth. The most valuable product in this system was never the ticket. It was your fear of missing the moment. To see exactly how Ticketmaster and Live Nation built this system, click here to watch the full video report. And if you want to hear more stories about the music you love, subscribe to Your Music Report. Thank you for watching.